Coming up on Down Under EV Adventures, version 1.10.1 for the Atto 3 has been rolled out recently in Australia. Have you updated your car yet? Well, if you've never done an OTA update, I'll show you how and have a quick look at the latest one. Welcome back to Down Under EV Adventures, everybody. So we're back in the green machine today. That's right, we're back in Eurus's Atto 3 and we're going to have a look at the latest update. So it's a OTA update. Now OTA stands for over the air update, which means that you don't need to go into a dealer to get this done. Everything will be done over the air. In other words, it's done through Wi-Fi, and you'll get the software update and then it will be downloaded into the tablet and it will update the features. Now this is something I've only covered I think once before on the channel. I did do a little episode on version 1.8 which was on my wife's car as well. I didn't do any updates on my car. For those of you who know, I still ran the original version because I was very happy with the original one that I had. But anyway, I do know a little bit about this update. I'm certainly not an expert on it. Now this update, 1.10.1, was rolled out in Australia just in the last few weeks. So some of you out there may have already upgraded your Attos. Now if you're new to EVs or you've never done an update with the Atto before, or you just want to know a little bit more about how it all works, well, I'll take you through exactly what to do. So let's join me in real time as I show you how to go about doing the process of the OTA. You can see the poor green machine is a bit dirty. Look at that. I need to clean my wife's car. I usually clean it for her because I'm such a nice husband. Now, when you first get the update, it shows up periodically when you turn off the vehicle, and this will come up on the screen to prompt you to upgrade the software. Now, in addition to sometimes coming on after you turn off the car, what you can do is you can go here into the system settings, and you'll see this little red dot, and that will give you the version. Okay, so if you click on that, now it says, so this is what will sometimes show up when you turn off the car. So it says it can be upgraded to this one for free, and it says here the upgrade is estimated to take 24 minutes. So obviously you can only do this if you've got if you don't need the car, because once it starts to update you can't actually drive the car. So effectively it needs to sit there for this amount of time. So normally you do this in the evening when you've come home and you don't need it, or if you've parked somewhere at lunch, or maybe even parked at work, and you've got time for the car to go through this process. Now you can postpone it. There you go. Now you can see what time you can schedule it for. So if you wanted to schedule it for August, say you wanted to do it August 17th, you could do that. Okay, but we don't want to do that. We want to actually do it now. So all you need to do is click that, easy as pie. Now it says here the vehicle will not be able to drive, which of course I just told you, and you can confirm whether you want to do that. So obviously if you think you need to use the car, don't upgrade it, because you just won't be able to use it for roughly half an hour or so. So that's usually how long these upgrades take. Okay, so just click yes, you want to do the upgrade. Car will be turned off, and you've still got 30 seconds to cancel it if you got second thoughts about doing it. Okay, so now you can see this screen here will come up saying it's getting ready to upgrade. And this thing comes up on the screen now. So it's sort of like updating your phone, or your laptop, all those sorts of things, because it's essentially like a tablet, obviously. And you know, if you were upgrading your tablet or something at home, it would be this sort of a similar system, although it takes a little bit longer. Obviously there's a lot more software involved in driving a car than there is to just having a laptop. Now it says here, during this upgrading some functions cannot be used. Please do not drive the vehicle, otherwise BYD will not bear any legal liability. That's just common sense. Right, and now that will go through. So we'll come back when that's done and we'll have a quick look at it. Now we'll just jump in and quickly say that occasionally there'll be more than one part to an update, so you may have to go through the process once or twice before it's fully updated. Now I didn't get back to the car for several hours, but luckily it was all done when I got there. So let's join me again in real time as I have a look at it. Alright, so I'm back here and I had a busy day today, so it's the first chance I've had to come back into the car, but let's go and have a look. So this is now version 1.10.1, and I believe, there we go, you can see this will come up that it's been upgraded. Click OK. Then you have to sign this privacy statement so that the Chinese can collect all your data off you. We'll agree to that. Why not, hey? Let's agree to all of that. Right, now I believe there is a few apps which have been added to the car. Now because I'm not that familiar with the car, because this is Iris's car, I can't tell you all of them. I've noticed that this is now called the DVR, which used to be called the driving recorder. So you'll know I did an episode on that before. Now, for those of you who make phone calls through their car, you'll notice that there has been a bit of a bug where it makes a horrible noise. And I really hope that they've updated that problem with calls, because my wife makes a lot of calls on her car. And I've been talking to her and it's just a whining noise has come through when you're calling. So I hope that goes. Now I do believe there was some updates to the dynamic range on the car, so the estimation, if you've got it on dynamic, you can have it dynamic or standard. So I had a little play around with the tablet. I couldn't actually see anything, but I decided to take the car for a sort of a drive and try out a few things to see if the dynamic range would change while I was driving. So nothing real to report. I did try putting the heated seats on and the heater and seeing if that would make a difference, but nothing that I could see. If anyone else out there's noticed a difference, let me know. So this is what comes up when you hit the navigation. Major updates. Do we agree? Yes, we agree. So this message here came up before when at the last update. I thought they would have got rid of it, so I wonder if that will keep coming up or whether it will disappear. So some that one is coming up again. Not happy about that. Now what you can do is you can actually look for charges, I believe, on it. So I'll just try to work out how to get that. Okay, so I just typed in EV charges and it does bring up a few charge Fox and Tesla destination charges here. Now this is something that my wife wouldn't use because we just always charge at home. But for those of you who do have to charge publicly, that will bring up where the charges are. And then if you press it, it gives you a bit of information here. Okay, so it tells you what your charge will be when you get to the destination, how long it'll take, of course. It does actually tell you what's available. So just like on the handheld app, that you have on your phone, it also has the information here on the screen, which is pretty good. Some useful information. Like I said, for us, we don't have to use it at all. Certainly when you go on a long trip, you could use this one for sure. I think that would really help you out. Now you can see along the bottom here, you've got some of the climate control shortcuts, so that's really good. That looks like the seat heating shortcut. My wife will like that in winter. And fan controls here, which is really good too. Now little birdie told me that these are customizable. But don't ask me how to do it, because like I said, I don't own an Atto anymore, so I'm a bit out of the loop. So I believe some of the apps include things like Zoom or radio, things like that. I think there's also possibly a games package as well. But if you've uploaded any of those, let me know in the comments. So earlier on in the evening, I did go for a drive, and I tried to see if anything that I did made any difference to this, but it didn't really. So I don't know if it's just they've tweaked it and it is now more accurate, the dynamic range. So you can actually change range settings here. If you go into the settings, I'll just try to remember where it is. I have to say, after driving the Volvo for the last few weeks, the software in my car is a lot more intuitive. It's a bit easier to find. Here, after not using the Atto for a while, I'm a little bit out of it trying to find things. This range display mode is under audio display and instrument, so I've got no idea why it's there. I would have thought it would be under energy, but anyway, I found it. You can have the range display mode dynamic or standard. So dynamic, it's 296 showing. If I go to standard, there's not much difference, 297. So not much difference in that, so I'll leave it on dynamic because that's what it was on. And I've got this car for the next week or so before I leave on holidays myself, because my wife just flew out today. She's going to Germany to see her family for a few weeks. I've got the car for the next week if I want to drive, and I'll probably drive it a little bit in the next week and see if I can notice any differences between that range. So yeah, I have heard things on the internet that it may be more accurate, that dynamic range, so that will be good if that works. By having the heater on, the heated seats, and no real difference, but I think these shortcuts here will be muchly appreciated. I'm just not sure how it's going to work if you put Spotify on. Oh, that's good. So my wife often listens to Spotify. The shortcuts will remain here at the bottom, so that's really, really good. I mean, I can't stress how important it is to have climate controls easily accessible. Although there's no physical buttons apart from the ones down here to turn it on and off and all this, having it here is the next best thing. If you can't put physical buttons, obviously once the car's made, all you can do is adjust the touchscreen. So that's a great idea. I think that's probably the best thing I've seen on the BYD update for quite a while. If anyone out there has updated in the last few weeks in Australia, please let me know, because I'd love to know. Like I said, I'm a little bit out of it with the Atto because, you know, I do drive my wife's, but I certainly don't know how she's really got the car set up. She's customized it for herself. If you like using, you know, apps, let us know which apps are on your car and if you use them and if you like them. Otherwise, that's all I can sort of say so far, my first sort of impressions of this latest update. And I'll drive it in the next few days, and if there's anything groundbreaking or earth-shattering, I'll let everybody know. If you've upgraded in the last few weeks and you've, you know, found something that's useful or that I haven't mentioned here, I'm sure there's plenty of other little things. This is just a very quick overview. Let us know in the comments. We'd really appreciate it, because you'll not just be helping me out and my wife, but you'll be helping all the other watchers on the channel as well. Okay, so that's how you do the over-the-air update. It's pretty easy to do, and you know, you can have a play around and get used to the new features on there. So hopefully I'll get a chance to have a look at some of the stuff in the next few days. Alright, but that's it for today's episode. Thanks for joining me, really appreciate it. Coming up on Down Under EV Adventures, I go on my furthest trip ever in an EV, and I'm also going to go the furthest north I've been in Western Australia as well, as I take my car up as far as Carnarvon in Western Australia. So that's something to look forward to in the next few weeks, and I've got lots of other stuff as well. Alright, take care as always, and we'll see you very soon with more on Down Under EV Adventures. Bye for now.